Today I want to talk to you guys about Ripper by Stefan Petrucha. It was published. This was published March 1st, 2012 by Philomel, I believe it's pronounced, and how gorgeous is this cover? This is one of my favorite covers of all time. Let's talk about the plot. The plot is about a young boy, I think he's 14 years old, named Carver Young. Carver is an orphan. He has never known his parents. Suddenly the orphanage is going bust, everyone has to be adopted or they're moving out of the city. The older kids who are less likely to be adopted are kind of being adopted as prizes. One of the characters is adopted into a rich family so that they have family pictures to look nice. Carver is adopted by a detective. Now Carver has always wanted to be a detective. He loves Sherlock Holmes, he loves Teddy Roosevelt, who at the time is the police commissioner, and yeah, he's a lover of detectives. So he gets adopted by a detective from kind of an underground detective agency sort of thing called the Pinkertons. And that's kind of where we start off, is with Carver in New York City being adopted. Carver's main goal in the book is to figure out who his father is from the beginning. He doesn't know anything about his father. He finds a letter that was sent by his father, and yeah, and so he has to figure out who sent the letter. It didn't have a name. He doesn't know his real name. Young is not his real name. So yeah, a lot of mysteries going on. Simultaneously, there are also Ripper killings in New York City, and he kind of falls into that web of terrible. First thing I have to say about this book is it was slow. This book is about 420 pages and nothing happened really for the first 200. It was all gathering information and blah. And I was so upset because I've been excited to read this book for about pretty much since it came out, and I got it last summer and then didn't get into reading it until now, and I was disappointed, especially because look how beautiful the cover is. It actually took about 200 pages to even connect the killings to Jack the Ripper, despite this taking place about 7 years after. No one put those things together, at least Carver didn't, and we didn't hear about anyone doing it. The writing felt a bit more like middle grade than it did young adult, and that kind of, and I like middle grade, but it's about Ripper killings, so I was expecting something slightly more adult, and it felt kind of juvenile. Also, Carver as a character felt a bit juvenile. I mean, he is a 14-year-old boy, but I was expecting a bit more. There were a couple relationships that I felt grew over the book, but ultimately there didn't feel like a whole lot of character development. Carver had some. Other than that, I don't know. I will say though that the last 150 pages were fantastic story. They were fun, they were action-packed. I read those all of those pages in one go, sitting on my bed, flipping, wanting to know what happens next. So yeah, the last 150 pages or so really had me into it. But other than that, it was kind of disappointing, which is really upsetting, and I don't like giving bad reviews, especially not ones for books I was highly anticipating. Overall, I'm gonna give Ripper by Stefan Petrucha 3.5 out of 5 stars. I love the premise. I think it's really interesting. The last 150 pages were great, but everything else I kind of felt meh about. That is all from me. I hope you guys like my review. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad bookish news, but yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Let me know if you have any other Ripper fiction suggestions in the comments.